granddaughter.
What's her name?
Sage, can you say hi? Her name's Sage.
Sage has been really good because she's met a lot of strangers and she has said hi. And she's 4 and she's
All right, we're gonna turn
Okay.
You ready?
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
More than 800,000 Arizonans have no representation today because Speaker Johnson keeps moving the goalposts further and further away. They've elected a person, they cast their votes, they trust democracy, yet they're being taxed without any representation. Adelita Grijalva, who stands right next to me, was elected 22 days ago. Just 22 days ago, she was elected, and folks in her district have not gotten the representation that they hoped to get when they cast that vote. In fact, yesterday, we heard from Arizona's Secretary of State as they certify her election. So it's not a question of whether the votes have not been counted. It's not a question of whether there is a discrepancy. It's not a question of whether or not her election has been certified. It has been certified already. And our speaker has been notified of that. And yet, she has not been given the authority by them. The authority comes from the people that voted for her. And so, what is it? What's holding it back? Is it the Epstein files? Is that what's holding it back? That they don't want America to know the details of what's in the files? Is that what's holding it back? Arizona's public officials demand that she be seated with us. Arizona's Attorney General Chris Mays, the Secretary of State Adrian Fontes, Governor Katie Hobbs, and the 2 Arizona sitting senators that are here with us today, Senator Kelly and Senator Gallego, that are here today. They say enough is enough. We are demanding that she be seated in the House of Representatives and that the 800,000 folks that she represents be given the representation that they deserve. So it is, as of yesterday, there is no legal or procedural reason for preventing this from happening. In fact, a pro forma process has been adhered to for the seating of Representative Randy Fine and Jimmy Patronis from Florida. So this has happened before with Republicans. And they rapidly proceeded to seat them in the House of Representatives. So we're here to support her. We're looking at all possible options, but we are demanding from Speaker Johnson to seat her immediately so that the folks that she represents, the people that she represents, continue to get the services that they deserve to get. It is not enough to say that she has not missed any votes. The people that she represents are not getting the services that they deserve. So we're here to support her. And with that, let me introduce Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva.
Thank you. Buenos dias. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I'm really proud to be joined with our Arizona Democratic delegation and members of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. I want to especially thank all of you for being here. Thank you, CHC Chair Espaillat and other members who've joined us here today. I stand before you as a duly elected representative from Arizona's 7th Congressional District, with nearly 70% of the vote and the margin of victory, 440,000 votes. The people of Southern Arizona has spoken clearly. Yet more than 812,000 people are still denied their voice in Congress. This delay is not procedural, it's intentional. Earlier this year, Speaker Johnson swore in 2 Republicans from Florida with less than 24 hours after their elections during a pro forma session. There is no reason other than politics that Arizona should be treated differently. Let's be clear. Speaker Johnson knows that I will be the 218th signature on the discharge petition for the Epstein files. He is doing everything in his power to shield this administration from accountability. That is not leadership, that is obstruction. Every day that I am not sworn in is another day that my constituents are blocked from critical constituent services and excluded from debates happening right now that affect their lives. Southern Arizona cannot afford to be sidelined. Just yesterday, Governor Hobbs, Attorney General Mays, and Secretary Fontes of Arizona fulfilled their duties in certifying the results of my election. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays sent a letter that stated that House leadership has acted in violation of the Constitution. And now that election is certified, it is now a simple ministerial duty to administer the oath of office. Now is the time for Speaker Johnson to perform his duty and swear me in without further delay. I don't need bells and whistles. I don't need pomps and circumstance. I just need to get to work for Southern Arizona. That's it. It's past time. Thank you so much for being here. And now I'd like to hand it over to literally my senator, Senator Mark Kelly. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. Estoy muy agradecida a representar el sur de Arizona. Y el problema que tenemos hoy es hace 22 días que ya estaba elegida esta posición y mi juramento está esperando. Este no es justo. Este no debe de estar pasando en nuestra democracia. Este es nomás política. Es juego. Y están jugando con las vidas del sur de Arizona y ya no podemos parar por eso. Gracias.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to be brief. There's a lot of speakers because this is a very important issue, and an issue this doesn't happen very often. Senator Gallego and I were over in front of the Speaker's office just last week, talking to the press about a number of things. This in particular, that Adelita had not been sworn in yet. And what the Speaker told us was the reason he swore in the 2 Republican House members from Florida was it was a special circumstance?
Family trip.
It was a family trip, a special circumstance because they just happened to be in town. So under the same situation, the Republican Speaker decided to swear in 2 Republican members, and the lame excuse he used was that their family members were in town. Now, I'm pretty sure we could get Adelita's, one of her family members here, or she could borrow my granddaughter for a minute, who, by the way, is one of Adelita's future constituents. Gabby and I live in that district. We currently do not have representation in the U.S. House of Representatives, and that is wrong. Just recently, the Speaker gave another lame excuse, that she needs the pomp and circumstance of a swearing in front of her House colleagues. Do you need the pomp and circumstance?
I do not.
You do not. This is, this is unprecedented, and it's wrong. And the Speaker is doing this purely for political reasons. He doesn't like losing the 1-seat majority. And it goes beyond that. I think it's very specific, and I'm going to turn it over here to Ruben because I know he has some strong views on this subject in particular. So with that, let me turn it over to my co-senator here, Ruben Gallego.
Thank you. Thank you for not saying junior senator.
That's true.
Let's cut to it. Speaker Johnson is protecting pedophiles. That's what this is all about. The only reason Adelita Grijalva is not being sworn in right now is because he wants to protect whatever is in those files, all the pedophiles that would be revealed, and he wants to make sure every day that doesn't happen, he has one more day to protect all those pedophiles, whether it's involving Donald Trump or any of his rich elite friends. That is what Speaker Johnson is doing here. Every reason that he has ever come up with has changed from day 1, day 2, day 3. The only thing that's been consistent the whole time is that Speaker Johnson is trying to cover up for pedophiles. Is that clear enough? Speaker Johnson is covering up for pedophiles, and in the process, Arizona does not have a congresswoman. Right now, of all the times when we have flooding, do you know how often Arizona gets rain, let alone floods? In Tucson, in her district, those members do not have someone to call to ask for help because Speaker Johnson is covering up for pedophiles. Did you guys get that? Speaker Johnson is covering up for pedophiles. Thank you.
I'll jump in. All right, good. All right, good. Ruben, one more time. Covering up. There he goes. I'm Congressman Greg Stanton. Right now, more than 800,000 people in southern Arizona are being denied representation during a shutdown that harms veterans, small businesses, tribal communities, seniors, and families who need Adelita Grijalva's help right now, especially right now, as the senator just said, with serious floods in the state of Arizona because of the remnants of Hurricane Priscilla. It's outrageous that they are being punished when Arizona's voters did everything right. They turned out, they voted, and overwhelmingly they chose Adelita Grijalva clearly and decisively. But Mike Johnson, Speaker Mike Johnson, he thinks he gets veto power over Arizona's constitutional rights. As a result, he is single-handedly silencing nearly 1 million Arizonans. That's not how it works in the people's house. In fact, we are duty-bound to listen to and respect the will of the people. I'm so proud of my Democratic colleagues here today who rose to this occasion. They've confronted the Speaker directly. We've written letters. We've done interviews rallying people to this cause. This month alone, I've tried to twice introduce resolutions forcing Johnson to seat Adelita. But Republicans, they simply turned off the mics. Put another way, Republicans have shut down this debate. They've shut down this government, and now they have shut down democracy for the people of southern Arizona. And so far, Speaker Johnson has falsely cited procedures, he's falsely cited precedent, and he's citing the courtesy of, quote, pomp and circumstance. Give me a break. That's not courtesy, that's condescending to Adelita Grijalva and to the people of southern Arizona. The excuses keep changing, paperwork, procedure, pomp, but the truth hasn't. This is about politics and power at the expense of Arizona families, and this delegation will not rest until this wrong is righted, until Adelita Grijalva enters her rightful place as a member of the House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, enough with the games. Call the House back. Swear in Adelita Grijalva. And I have one final question. You have the Democratic members of the Arizona delegation. We should be Team Arizona. Arizona doesn't have representation. Where are Republican colleagues calling for a district in Arizona? Our Republican colleagues from Arizona, where are you? Speak up on behalf of the people of southern Arizona and demand that the Speaker swear in Adelita Grijalva. Let's reopen the government. We have work to do. And next up to the mic is my colleague from Phoenix area as well, Yasmin Ansari.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning. You have heard loudly and clearly we are here this morning with one simple demand. Speaker Mike Johnson, stop the obstruction and seat Adelita Grijalva today. The voters of Arizona's 7th District spoke loudly and clearly. They elected her with nearly 70% of the votes, and those results are now certified. But instead of doing his job, Speaker Mike Johnson is silencing 800,000 Arizonans, blocking them from the representation that they are guaranteed under our Constitution. But let's be honest about why. This is not a scheduling delay. It's a cover-up. As a member of the House Oversight Committee, I sat in a room with the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Mike Johnson in the room for hours. He looked these victims in the eye. He feigned empathy. He promised them accountability. And he said, "We will get this done for you." But now he is using his power to protect the very same powerful men who enabled that abuse by stopping Congresswoman-elect Grijalva from casting the deciding vote to get that discharge petition on the floor of the House of Representatives and release those files once and for all. That is not leadership. That is aiding and embedding the most corrupt and authoritarian administration in American history. While Mike Johnson runs cover for Trump's inner circle, Republicans have shut down the government. They've been on vacation for many, many weeks now, and they've created a healthcare crisis that will devastate more than 300,000 Arizonans. Meanwhile, Adelita Grijalva, a lifelong public servant and a fierce advocate for her community, is ready to get to work. The people she represents deserve their voice in Congress today, yesterday, the week before, the day after she was elected. So, Speaker Johnson, let me say this directly to you. The longer that you delay this, the louder our voices will continue to get. I sent a letter 2 days after she was elected, but look at all of us standing here today outside of the U.S. Capitol. Check your mail for the dozens of other official letters you have received from sitting members of Congress, from leaders in this community, and not to mention the many calls coming from across the country, including your own constituents in Louisiana. Stop the cover-up, swear her in, do your job. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will hand it back to
Cisneros.
my colleague, Gil Cisneros.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Gil Cisneros. I represent California's 31st District. I'm also the CHC freshman class rep. I'm proud to be here today with my fellow colleagues demanding that Speaker Johnson quit his stalling tactics and seat Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva. Day after day, it's a different excuse. The state of Arizona has formally certified the results of her election, and we know she rightfully won her seat back in September. The people of Arizona's 7th Congressional District deserve to have representation in Congress, and the Speaker's prolonged delay to swear her in does a major disservice to her constituency. It's suppressing the voice of hundreds of thousands of Arizonans. You had no problem swearing in 2 white Republican men less than 24 hours after they won their special election. So what's the problem today? Is it because she's a Democratic Latina? Is it that once Representative Grijalva sworn in that she's going to sign the discharge petition on the Epstein files? Is it because she's going to add to the largest class of CHC members ever? I think it's all 3 reasons. Speaker Johnson, stop playing partisan politics and do the right thing by the people of Arizona's 7th Congressional District, for our country, and for the victims of the Epstein files, or the Epstein crimes, I should say. Swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva now.
Good job.
Thank you.
En español, estamos aquí porque creemos firmemente que una mujer latina, Adelita Grijalva, debe de ser ya juramentada como representante de ese distrito del sur de Arizona. Ya la fiscal general y el secretario de Estado de ese estado de Arizona han certificado su elección, pidiéndole al portavoz Johnson que la juramente inmediatamente y que no le niegue los derechos fundamentales a su constituyente en el distrito del sur de Arizona. Por eso estamos aquí demandando esa acción. Entendemos que él no quiere que ella venga a la Cámara de Representantes porque sería un voto más para abrir los archivos de Epstein y revelarle a los Estados Unidos todas las cosas que tienen en ese contenido. Así que le pedimos y les demandamos al portavoz Johnson que juramente inmediatamente a Adelita Grijalva. Questions?
We've seen you and your Democratic colleagues really engage in this public pressure campaign, but so far Speaker Johnson hasn't budged. I know that the Arizona Attorney General has threatened potential legal action, but what tools do you actually think you have to force Speaker Johnson's swearing?
You know, this is really unprecedented, to have a speaker that is obstructing the swearing in of a member of Congress. So this is unprecedented area. So we're looking at every possible legal option that we have. And I'm very appreciative of our Attorney General, of the Hispanic Caucus, because we're all looking at any other ways that we can push back on this idea that one person can negate the voice of 800,000 people.
Have you spoken with Speaker Johnson?
No, we sent a letter. I called. I went to his door yesterday. You know, nobody's answering. No one's home. Yeah. Yes.
Congressman, Arizona Family News, what precedent do you think this sets, especially for another speaker of another party or the same party to decide that, hey, the time isn't right to swear in someone?
You know, I read an article, and I wish I could remember the author's name, but he describes sort of how I feel right now. It's this congressional purgatory. You're just here. You know, I mean, right here, I had to wait until a member of Congress could come and escort me in. Everyone keeps treating me like I'm a member of Congress, which I appreciate, but I'm not, very clearly. Everyone keeps asking for where that amazing little button is. And that represents 812,000 people. It's not okay. It's not okay. I'm not going to let myself just like sort of take it. My nana would say, no te dejes, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. We're going to continue to apply as much public pressure as possible until he realizes he's wrong. And you have to look at the bevy of excuses that have come out of Speaker Johnson's mouth. I mean, he's contradicting himself at this point. So I hope that other people, especially those of you in the media, will call him out on that. And I know that some have, and we need more. Go ahead.
I was going to jump in on that. You could imagine taking it to its logical extension, what Mike Johnson is saying, that he gets full discretion. He gets to decide alone who gets sworn in and what and when they get sworn in. You could imagine the consequences of that taken to its logical extreme, that a speaker can decide which members of the Democratic caucus get sworn in, or a Democratic speaker decides which members of the Republican caucus get sworn in and when. That's a very dangerous thing for American democracy. The rules of the House of Representatives, of course, assumes good faith on behalf of the Speaker of the House. Obviously, we're not seeing good faith, and as Adelita just described, the excuses keep changing. We're not in session. We don't have all the members here for the pomp and circumstance. Her family's not in town. Now it's about the shutdown, the changing excuses. We saw what happened in the Wall Street Journal, the article which they talked about describing the House like a Duma that they control from the White House. We are seeing the sad impact of the way this White House is giving orders to Mike Johnson, and he's taking those orders despite the obvious impact on the constitutional requirements of swearing in this new member.
Last question, over here.
Thank you all so much. For any of the members of Congresswoman-elect, as it relates to the Epstein piece of this, what do you think the end game is here, given that the House Oversight Committee is undergoing its own investigation, other members of the House indicated they're not going to vote against the discharge petition when it comes to oversight?
Look, I think it's really important to look at the history of what Mike Johnson has been doing for the last several months. He shut down Congress a week early to avoid any and all conversation about the Epstein files. We were all let go that last week in July, right? And it wasn't until there was so much pressure on Republicans in Congress that in one subcommittee of the Oversight Committee, we were able to get several Republicans to join us, and that's how the subpoena even came to light. If it were up to Mike Johnson, there would never have been an oversight investigation. So that's underway. Then, of course, we have the discharge petition, a bipartisan effort that Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie are leading. There has been a pressure campaign from the Trump White House on the 4 Republicans who signed that discharge petition from day one. They are using this time that they are not swearing in Congresswoman-elect Grijalva to try to put as much pressure as possible on what I have heard Lauren Boebert especially, to get her to come off of that petition so that Adelita would not be the 218th signature. This is all a delay tactic and a cover-up. Let's also not forget that the Trump White House put out in an official statement that they see any Republican signing this discharge petition as a, quote, hostile act towards the White House. Why? Why is that a hostile act towards the White House, to want to sign a petition to release these files that this president has been talking about wanting to release for years? So there is zero question in my mind that a huge, huge part of this is around buying time around the Epstein issue. They are scrambling. They don't know what to do. Even through the Oversight Committee, the DOJ is moving very slowly. They're sending piecemeal information, like very much redacted information, and they're trying to obstruct the entire process. And again, Mike Johnson was in the room about a month ago with the victims. He sat there, he listened to their stories, he feigned empathy, but he also made very clear in that meeting that he doesn't want this to go outside the Oversight Committee. He said, why? Why can't we talk about this in other committees? There's relevance with financial services and the bank accounts, and we need to follow the money. He said, no, I'd like to keep it right here. where he can control James Comer and control the process, and it is just an absolute disgrace. This is a party that now protects pedophiles and protects rich and powerful billionaires who have perpetrated some of the worst crimes imaginable.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Thank you for being here. Well done. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, I know. I agree. Thank you so much. Thank you. Especially you. Okay. No, you don't. Yeah, we'll see.